genetic research, DNA databases, and social scoring. Is this where we're headed?
Hey everybody, someone dear to me, a family member, recently got one of those 23andMe ancestry DNA kits. And as fun as it might seem to do, I really don't think that it's a good idea to submit your DNA to any of these DNA banks. If you watch the news, there's always something happening in the background where one of these companies, like 23andMe, is selling their information to the government. And one of the reasons that they claim that they're doing that is to help with locating criminals. Because if you submit your DNA and you have one brother or one sister, and the DNA of that brother or sister is linked to a crime, eventually it's going to be to where it matches up with the DNA you submitted in your ancestry test. And they're going to be able to come find you with all of the personal information you submitted and force you to turn in that sibling. So on just that end of things, I think it's completely dangerous to put your information out there so that they don't link you to anyone in your family. Not saying that you want any criminals in your family, but if somebody does something, it wouldn't be too fun to have the feds show up at your front door. Also, something that I'm worried about them doing is taking the DNA and performing tests on the DNA and using it to replicate us, basically. Using it as a method of control, using it as a way to put us into a bank of people, kind of like the Social Security system was. What they might end up doing with that genetic information is using it to attach to our scorecards. So like, if you don't know this, in China right now, they're having a social score system. So all the cameras everywhere there have facial recognition systems. And if you do something that's considered to be of lower value to their community standards, then you lose points on your social tracker. And if you lose enough points, you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to fly in an airplane, you won't be able to purchase certain things, you won't be able to go to hotels, you won't be able to have vacations. So they're basically forcing all of their people to act a certain way in order for them to have access to what the government can provide them. And I do think this is something that we're headed towards. So think about this right now. We already have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these different things that have access to our location and to our past history and to the way we think about things, has access to the way our mind works. Basically, for the past 10 years, we've all been uploading our personality into an internet system that's taking all of that information and getting a perfect idea of who and what we are and how they'll be able to control us in the future. All I know is that when stuff hits the fan, I really don't want the government to have access to my full genome. I'm not interested in giving away my information. I'm not interested in having to rat out family members, and I'm certainly not interested in the breach that may happen one day when the criminals from around the world get access to all of our genetic information. Because if they have access to all of our genetic information, they can find weaknesses in our genetic information and create super viruses that could completely wipe us out. Please do not upload your DNA into the government systems. Because mark my words, they will not remain private for very long. Just my 2 cents. Namaste.